Hello everyone, it is me again, and I have a special video for you today. At least it's special to me, because since I made my last James Dean video talking about his fragrances and whatnot, I had the idea of doing someone else. But the thing about like famous celebrities and the fragrances that they wore and stuff, there's not really a whole lot of information, because like a lot of the people that I like, there isn't like a whole lot of information about the fragrances they wore. There's like speculation, and there might be like some, references to what they wore, but it's not an exact thing. I don't really know if there's ever truly a way you can be 100% exact of what they wore, there's just not, you didn't know their personal life. You weren't like there, whenever they were around, or if they're still around. You don't really have like a camera into their bathroom of what they're spraying on themselves, so it's kind of hard to, you kind of just have to take the internet's word for it, I think, at some point. But anyway, the person that I'm talking about today is, if you haven't read the title, David Bowie. He's a pretty big influence of mine musically, not really because of the music that I make is like his, but I just really like him as a person, and just his style and stuff was like really inspiring to me when I was a little younger. And I like his music, obviously, and his movies. But yeah. So if you don't know who David Bowie is, maybe you would want to stick around and learn about him a little bit in a fragrance he wore, or maybe you're not interested, so maybe now would be the time to leave. And that's fine, everybody's not gonna be interested in everything. But anyway, there is some, I did some research on the fragrances that he wore, and there was like 3 that I saw, and the first one was called Floris Elite, and I guess this is something that he wore like kind of earlier on in his career, like maybe in like the 70s. And this one just kind of didn't really call to me that much. I just it didn't seem that appealing to me, and I kind of more interested in like later David Bowie's career. I like his earlier stuff, but like I like his like mid 80s, 90s stuff. But this fragrance that I'm talking about today actually came out in the late 90s, I believe, or maybe early 90s. I'm not really sure. But this one just kind of spoke to me a little bit more. But before I talk about that, I want to show you some of the David Bowie memorabilia that I have, just to show it off. So this is The Man Who Fell to Earth, one of the movies that he's in. Pretty cool. These are all my records. I have some more, but these are just the ones I wanted to show. Let's Dance, David Bowie. I actually just saw this in the cinema like a couple weeks ago. They did like a anniversary showing of it at a local cinema by my house. But yeah, Labyrinth, one of my favorite movies as a kid. I really love this movie, and the music on it is great. This is probably the first David Bowie album that I heard, Ziggy Stardust. If you don't like this kind of stuff, this is probably so boring to you, but I just thought it'd be interesting for once to show something like this. But anyway, this is a picture that's hanging up in my room, if that interests you. But yeah, I love David Bowie. Anyway, I have some other stuff I could show, but those are just a couple things that I thought might be interesting. But anyway, moving on to the fragrance at hand here. So this is by Paloma Picasso, Picasso's daughter, I believe. And the fragrance I'm talking about today is called Minotaure. I don't know how you say it, but Minotaure. But yeah, Minotaure by Paloma Picasso. Now, I'm pretty sure this came out in the 90s. I could be wrong. But anyway, I've never smelled this. I just got it in the mail today. It's still sealed. And yeah, I was doing some research, and this just seemed like more up my alley. I'll read the notes here, because I feel like it would give some more reference as to what we're going to be smelling. So top notes, fruity notes, aldehydes, bergamot, galbanum, tarragon. That was like the one note that I heard like kind of stands out in this, is the tarragon note. And coriander. Middle notes, geranium, jasmine, Rose and Lily of the Valley. Base notes: tonka bean, vanilla, and sandalwood, musk, amber, and cedar. So yeah, I saw some pictures of this bottle, and a lot of people were saying that it just looks kind of tacky and cheap. But yeah, anyway, I probably should have just sampled this one. Maybe I'll hate this. I have a feeling I'm not gonna like this. I don't know why. I'm on like a losing streak on this channel of fragrances that I'm not liking. So hopefully I like it, because I can just have like the association with like David Bowie and whatnot. But let's try this here, shall we? Let's open it up. Yeah, it's still sealed. I think I paid like $30 for this. So let's see. Also, I read that this has like been really reformulated, and it's like a shadow of its old self. But, yeah. Anyway, I'm still curious to smell the DNA. Maybe I'll love it, you know. And I never smelled the original formulation, so I have really nothing to compare it to. I think that's what's nice about being young and being into fragrances, is you don't know what it used to smell like. So I don't think the bottle really looks that cheap. I mean, it's all right. It kind of has like an artistic feel, and considering Paloma Picasso is like an artist, I think, and her father is obviously an artist, but yeah, kind of has like an artistic vibe to it. I don't smell anything yet, but yeah, look at the freaking sprayer, the atomizer. It's like clear plastic. I mean, it kind of matches actually. Like, it kind of makes sense as to why it looks like that. But anyway, the cap is kind of cheap, but whatever. Like I said, I paid $30 for this, and I saw somewhere that this was like kind of hard to find. I didn't really have that hard of a time finding it, but I know the prices for this were like all over the place. Like, when I looked on Amazon, they were like charging like $60 for this. So don't buy this on Amazon if you plan to. So just go on like eBay. I know it's not like the best place to buy fragrances, or like go on Joma Shop, but like the cheapest I found it was on eBay, and that was like the first fragrance in a while that I bought off eBay. So I'm kind of just blabbing at this point, but anyway, I'm just stalling. I'm kind of nervous to make this. I don't know why I'm like nervous to make this video. I'm like, I want to like this so bad. I think that's why. But also, I will say before I review this, there was an honorable mention: fragrances relating to David Bowie. I saw somewhere that he liked like vetiver, like that was like something that he like really liked to wear, and his like wife also can speak on that as well, because she made a fragrance. It's called Love Memoir. His wife's name is Iman, but apparently that fragrance is supposed to like be like how she, or like her like feelings and like her memories with David Bowie, her husband, and like the grief of losing him, I guess. So that's kind of interesting. It's called Love Memoir by Iman, his wife. But anyway, also there was something I saw that he might have worn Grey Vetiver by Tom Ford, but there wasn't like any like 100% proof of that. But I don't really know if there is any 100% proof, like I said before earlier, for anything that anyone wears. But anyway, let's smell this. That's all I really wanted to say in this video, so I got everything out, thank God. But anyway, here we go. Kind of a weird sprayer. It's a lot better than I was thinking. This is not a fail. I'm just like having a hard time like saying what I'm trying to say. It's very designer, if that makes any sense. It's probably just the bergamot that I'm smelling. It smells like something I've smelled before. If I could imagine like just the standard designer note and smell, like opening up like an old magazine and smelling like one of those like fragrances in the pages with like the sticky stuff on the page, this is like what it reminds me of. This smells like a lot more expensive than it is. I actually kind of like this. It's kind of basic. It's not super sweet, but I think it's like that bergamot that's like what I'm smelling. It's super like, I'm not getting any sweetness from this actually. It's like definitely musky and like woody, but there's not really a whole lot of florals going on into my nose. As it's starting to dry down a little bit. I actually like this. It's like very clean. It's reminding me of like just some like fresh kind of basic scent. But like that's not a bad thing, you know. Sometimes people just want to have like that clean smell, and this definitely smells clean. It doesn't have anything like you could probably safely blind buy this, honestly. It just smells like a designer fragrance that you would smell at Macy's, but just minus like sweetness from it, basically. I'm gonna put it on my skin actually. I might just wear it. Fuck it. I'm interested to see how it performs on skin. But yeah, Minotaure by Paloma Picasso. So this is what David Bowie wore. It's actually now on skin, it smells a little bit fruitier. Yeah, this is actually not bad. Would I wear it every day? Probably not. But I could see like how this would make sense for him to wear this. You know what I mean? But yeah, I definitely do not regret this. It reminds me of something that I have already, but I don't know exactly what it is. It's like a fruity fragrance. It's like musky, slightly powdery, with like a strong like designer bergamot citrus kind of top note. But there's not really a whole lot of sweetness. When I'm like smelling it on skin, it smells a lot better. Yeah, I actually like this. I think this is a win, actually. I do like this. And I don't like it just because it was like David Bowie's scent, you know, it smells good. And it's cheap. Like you could definitely just buy this, throw it in your bag and just forget about it. And it would be like something you just spray on yourself to refresh. But if you're not into like that designer kind of esque, citrusy kind of, it's not like citrus as in like you think of like a lemon or something like that either. It doesn't give me like that kind of citrus. It's just kind of like sharp. Definitely, I feel like I've smelled this somewhere or something very similar. And it's not like a clone or anything either. So it's like, I don't know. Anyway, I think I've said enough about David Bowie and his fragrances today. Let me know what you think about this fragrance if you smelled it. I've never even heard of this before. And I've never even heard of Paloma Picasso. I just don't know about shit like that, really. I'm not like a super big into like art, kind of like paintings and shit like that. But yeah, the box looks cool. I like that font. And the bottle, I mean, the bottle honestly looks better in person. You know what I mean? Like this kind of looks ugly, but like if it was just this, that kind of looks cool. But anyway, yeah. This is David Bowie's fragrance. One of them anyways. But yeah. I'm curious to know like what the original would smell like, but yeah, this smells pretty good. When it's drying down, it's becoming a lot more, like there's a muskiness there, but there's like a slight sweetness like kind of coming in. I actually kind of like this. I probably would wear this like a lot more than I ever thought I would. So yeah. Let me know if you smell this. Let me know what you think of David Bowie, if you like him, if you've seen his movies or music or anything like that. Unfortunately, he has passed, and that makes me sad. So I'll just end the video on a sad note. Anyway, and yeah, look forward to the next video because I have another video like of this nature coming, and I think I'm gonna just make this a series because I like really enjoy making these videos. So yeah. This video has been freaking long, so sorry. I will see you in the next one. Au revoir.